Here now with reaction is the founder of the Committee to Unleash Prosperity, Stephen Moore, along with Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan. The only surprise to me, Jim Jordan, is how quickly it happened. I predicted this would all happen, but it's how fast things have literally spiraled downward. And I don't see that they're making any move to make any course correction at all.
How fast it got this bad and all the ridiculous things that the Democrats say. You said it best. First, Democrats can't define what a woman is. Now they can't define what a recession is. And here's the point, Sean. If it's not going to happen, why do you have to redefine it? If we're not really going to have a recession, why do you care about the definition or changing the accepted definition? But the American people get it. They know they have less gas in their car, less money in their wallet, less freedom. And that's why, we've talked about this many times, that's why I think they're fixing to make a big change come this November.
Big change, meaning the American people. You know, Steve Moore, look, you work with President Trump. Energy independence for the first time in 75 years. We're now paying double the price for a gallon of gasoline. Now, just think of it, rather than make countries that hate our guts, because every country I mentioned that we're trying to do deals with on energy, they don't really like us. They're hostile regimes, most of them. Instead of putting our national security at risk with them, why don't we produce all of it domestically? Why don't we create the high-paying career jobs with it? Why don't we lower the price at the pump? That'll have a great impact on lowering inflation. And then maybe we can even produce enough natural gas, of which we have hundreds of years worth of known supplies in Ohio and Pennsylvania, and ship it out to our friends in NATO and Western Europe, and they won't have to be relying on Vladimir Putin, and we can make him bankrupt in the process. How about we do that?
Well, Sean, what you just described is exactly what the Trump energy strategy was. When I used to talk to Trump, I'd say, you know, look, if we produce all our oil and gas and coal and nuclear power and all the resources that we have, that we could be energy independent. And I remember Trump used to say, no, I want to be energy dominant. And we became the energy dominant country. Don't forget, you said this many times on your show, but it's worth repeating. The month that Donald Trump left office in January 2021, we were a net exporter of oil and gas. And now, you know, it's embarrassing. It's pitiful that our president has to go to Saudi Arabia and Russia and other countries and beg them to produce more oil and gas. And incidentally, even if you're a climate change fanatic, as many of the Democrats are, look, when we produce more natural gas, we're actually reducing carbon emissions. We're cleaning up the environment. Do you think that President Xi, for 1 minute, Sean, cares about climate change? Right now, there's an article in the Financial Times that ran this weekend that China is in the midst of building 30 new coal plants. That one of them is the largest coal plants in the world. Well, we're shutting down our coal plants in West Virginia, and Wyoming, and Pennsylvania. It makes no sense for the American economy or the American worker.
Okay, so if they're not going to change course and they're going to cling to the climate alarmist religion that they embrace so tightly, Jim Jordan, we'd be pretty foolish to expect things to turn around on its own, right? So this is only going to go on longer, and it's going to be deeper than ever?
Well, hopefully when we win back the majority, we can put some of this in check. But ultimately, we're not going to get the kind of change we really need until we get President Trump back in office and do the things that he did that Steve just talked about. Even if Joe Biden had an epiphany and wanted to do the right things, the left that controls his party won't let him. Remember, he stood in front of our troops and said the climate crisis is the biggest threat we face. That's how crazy these people are. And again, it's why I think the country, the people of this great country get it. There's a reason why 9 out of 10 of our fellow citizens think we're on the wrong track. They think that because we are, and they are going to make a change in my judgment.
Yeah, I would argue that General Milley, dealing with the threat of China, they're threatening the fact that Nancy Pelosi is going to Taiwan. They're flying their fighter jets all over Taiwan airspace. I think what General Milley is dealing with is a little bit more imperative than what Joe Biden is talking about with climate change. All right, so if you don't make the change, which the base of their party, which is 90% of their party, Steve, they're not going to go for the change. What is the predictable result long term for the economy? How long does this last? How much longer will Americans suffer because they're rigid climate cult religion?
Well, it's hard to say, but I do think we're in a soft recession right now. I don't think there's any question about it. I don't care what term they want to use.
Won't we know Thursday?
Pardon me?
Won't we know Thursday for sure?
Yeah, we'll know. We'll know. But I mean, in terms of how long this is going to last, that's the real question. Will this be a soft landing, or will we have a crash landing as we had in the 70s? And incidentally, you know, Biden's numbers on the economy, Sean, are worse than Jimmy Carter's were on the economy. So Americans don't have any trust or any thoughts that this president has the right plan. We could turn the economy around. I mean, look, if I sound frustrated, Sean, I am. And you know why? Because if Donald Trump were president today, we wouldn't be talking about a recession. Are you kidding me? We'd be talking about a boom in the economy. We wouldn't have shut down American energy
We'd be
sources.
energy dominant. We would. Well, first of all, I don't think Putin would have invaded Ukraine. And secondly, if he did, we would be providing Western Europe with all their energy needs, and we'd be getting rich, not Putin and Iran and Saudi Arabia.
That's why, you know, remember when Trump used to say that our adversaries are laughing behind our back? I mean, the two biggest winners of the Biden agenda are Vladimir Putin in Russia and President Xi in China. I got to tell you this, Sean, I guarantee you this, when you watch what China is doing with their energy policy and their pollution levels, I guarantee you the communists in China don't care about climate change. The only person who believes that is John Kerry.
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah. John Kerry flying around in his private jet, which I'm not against, by the way. I'm all for, but I'm not lecturing people on their SUVs. Anyway, and maybe if they're really committed to climate change, maybe they can get rid of their, you know, nearly 1,000 fleet of jets and helicopters that all these cabinet officials fly around in. All right, Congressman Jordan, thank you.